Good morning, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started with the weekly wave. I'm glad that you could join today. We're going to talk about things that are going on currently first, and then we'll look at things that are coming down the pipe. So first thing we're going to talk about is the ASR. We still have several districts that have not certified their account. And for those districts, just a reminder that the report actually closes on July 1st, and be sure you're checking your calendars for accuracy. Make sure your parent-teacher days or conference days are in there. You've got professional days, snow days, and holidays. Your transportation is going to be found in the student view. And as always, please check your find missing students. If you have a student that isn't showing up in the student view, check your find missing students. They're probably there. Also, the alt-add student view. Please verify the students listed under this section are correct. You'll need to check your start and end dates for each student to make sure they align with your enrollments. If they're not correct, you can contact Student Data Info or the State Aid Department, and we can actually go on and open up the online data entry. It's available, and you can go in and make your corrections in there. The instructions for that are going to be for the Alt-Ed tab. They're posted on the ASR tab. So there's instructions if you've never done that before on how to update those records. We also have a notes section. And so please know if you make a note in that section, it's going to email State Aid automatically. And if you have questions about your report, contact the State Aid office at state.aid@sde.ok.gov, or you can call Lori directly at 405-522-0139, or you can contact Mitzi at 405-522-0120. Also on your ASR, we're using the ASR for a data verification process, review process for students that exit related data for 21-22. And because of this, it's really important that you update your exit codes and dates in your local SIS, and then confirm that they're displaying on the enrollments tabs also in accountability reporting for students who have graduated this year, or that have left before the last day of school, like the parent withdrew them to go to a different district, or they left the last day of school and they showed the 999 on the enrollments tab. So note that students that have completed the school year and have been left blank, they are null, you haven't populated that, or they have the 999 exit code, those students are going to be automatically populated for accountability to show they finished out the year, the 3505. So just to be aware. So if your data is not correct, it will need to be corrected in your local SIS. So please note that the window in conjunction with ensuring the data accuracy within the ASR serves as the only data verification process for the student level exit code related data prior to the school year 21-22 reporting. So requests for changes to students' exit codes or dates will not be considered except in instances where the student's exit date changed after the last day of the school year. Like if they go to summer school or something like that, or you get records requests during the summer, we will allow DVRs for those, but all others will not be, we will not be allowing any DVRs after that point. So to support the review, please refer to the ASR exit codes and date guidance tool, or you can email accountability@sde.ok.gov. Your chronic absentee medical exemptions report, it will close on June the 30th. You have to have a district administrator user before the student's absent records can be amended. So if you don't have one, you need to fill out the survey at the link below, And this slide will be posted on the OSDE's website when we're done with this call. And so the roles that we'll see for this is your local exemption committee. They'll be the ones to meet to approve or deny requests for medically exemption. It's based on your local board policy and the supporting documentation that's been supplied. Then you'll have a site user. They use the CA medical exemption window to process the request and upload the committee's approved absences and documentation for each student. And then your district admin user will review the request and supporting documentation for each student, medically exempted absences, and they'll be the one to approve or deny the request. Your admin user and your site user have to be different. So please be sure that you're assigning those roles accordingly. Okay, your post-secondary opportunities report, it also closes on June 30th. The report is now located in accountability reporting application. And it used to be located on the web, but it's been moved to accountability. So in order to find it, you'll check the coursework tab in the accountability reporting app and make sure that you're submitting grades using the next steps that I'm going to go over. So from the student data, you're going to click the coursework tab, and then you're going to click the flat file icon at the top of the spreadsheet. Clicking on the flat file expands the spreadsheet to show all the courses for each student. The table also allows you to check that your local SIS is sending grades. If the grades are not showing up, you're going to need to contact your vendor. Next is transfers. Your existing transfers can be extended until June 30th. So make note of that date. And then any transfer that is not finalized in your transfer app by June 30th is going to be deleted from the transfer system, and the students will have to reapply. So your districts will need to start reporting capacity you'll have the ability to report it 15 days prior to the quarter and then 15 days after the start of the quarter. So your quarter dates are going to be July 1st, October 1st, January 1st, and April 1st. So we're in that reporting period right now. So be sure that you are looking at your capacity numbers. Virtual district transfers. All virtual district entries must have a transfer started on them. This allows us to ensure that we're meeting statutory requirements for each student's mobility in and out of charter schools, because they can have no more than 2 transfers into a virtual charter per school year. P-EBT. Okay, so this also can be found. Your numbers can be found in the accountability reporting app, and it's available for school year 2021 and 2022. If you review school year 2022 right now, it's going to save you a lot of time. So it'd be in your best interest to go ahead and review that data, make the corrections that you need to make in your student information systems, and that way you're not going to have to do the DVR process on the back end. Now for 2021, that DVR process is coming soon, and once we've completed that one, we'll be in the works to determine when 21-22 will be available for data correction. But if you do it beforehand, you don't have to worry about that. So be sure you're checking those numbers. Our rollover for the WAVE will begin on July 11th, and we will be down until July 22nd. So it'll be up after that. So if you're doing a SIF rollover on your zone, you need to make sure you put your zone to sleep. If you're having issues doing that, or that doesn't sound familiar to you, you can reach out to your vendor, or you can contact us at studentdatainfo@sde.ok.gov, and we can help or assist with that as well. Medium of instruction. So what is the medium of instruction and why do we care? Well, we begin to look at medium instruction for school year 22-23. The data is already being sent to the state, and that's going to help us determine the learning environment based upon the course, not the attendance records. So please begin to review your data for accuracy right now. How do we, same thing, the details, how the course section is being taught, and a student is tied to a section, so that allows us to get more details on the course. There are 8 different medium of instruction codes available currently. You've got your technology-based instruction in a classroom, correspondence instruction, face-to-face, virtual online distance learning, center-based instruction, independent study, internship, and other. So what code do you want to use? Well, if the student's in person, you're going to use the face-to-face instruction. If they're blended, you could use the correspondence instruction via email or online study. You could use virtual online distance learning, web, video, or other online, or center-based. It's a 50-50 mix of in-person and independent study held at various centers outside of the classroom. Also, we have blended. So remember that blended students will use a more appropriate basis of admission, like a residence or open transfer, etc. On virtual, you're going to use the virtual online distance learning. So it's web, video, or other online. So the independent study and internship, once we finalize the details, more tips and guides will be available on these 2 different codes. And other than that, if you have questions, please email us at studentdatainfo@sde.ok.gov, or you can always refer to the student information guides and documents and guides on the OSD website. So that's all I have for now. And I'm going to check the chat currently and see what we have as far as questions. Can we print the PowerPoint? What we'll do, Kathy, is we're going to have it as soon as we're
answered it. I've already sent her the link.
Oh, okay, great.
I think I've answered all of them, except for a couple of them,
Okay.
with some private messages that I've gotten here. Christy, I got your email. Lori also got it, so we'll have to look at that and get back to you. Ladina, not sure yet. Still working on the hope that we will have the ability to do transfers very soon on July 1st, and STNs will be issued. I was told June 17th, and that changed again. So I've had to involve superintendent and others over at OMES. It's taking them longer than they supposedly. Anyway, it's been frustrating. Hopefully, that application will be available online sooner than the date I was given, which was mid-June, mid-July. So we'll see. Yep, we are pretty aware of the alt-ed issues, and very aware of something's got to go differently next time, because this is not like we expected. Please clarify the technology based in the classroom. We have virtual courses hosted by Edgenuity that are sometimes in a physical classroom. That would be, go back to that slide with medium of instruction codes for me, Nancy. So a computer programming course is a face-to-face instruction. An Edgenuity class that actually takes place in a classroom would be a technology-based instruction in a classroom. if they're doing virtual or distance learning in a classroom on a computer at your school, that's technology-based training or technology-based instruction in a classroom. If it's a teacher is in the classroom with them and that teacher is teaching them computer programming, that would be face-to-face. If they're at home and they're doing virtual online, that's virtual online distance. I think that we've got that. Yep. Definitely clear. Thank you for asking that question, Wendy, because these codes, these definitions of these, how we interpret things definitely affect you guys. So definitely want to make sure that we get that clear. So thank you for asking that question.
Anybody have any other questions?
Yes, I would, Debbie, that is exactly what I would say. So to clarify, if our students are in a classroom, but are doing their work on Ingenuity, we use 0603. Yeah, that, I mean, I would say that in most cases that would be true. I'm sure there may be other cases where you have a teacher that's in that classroom and they are actually teaching them most days, but occasionally they do Edgenuity work. I don't know, maybe they do Edgenuity work-based stuff for a couple of days. I would say that that's typically a face-to-face instruction. I don't know exactly how Edgenuity works. I don't know all about Edgenuity, so pardon my ignorance there. I don't know if it's something that they have to enroll in a full course or if they can just do certain exercises or certain things on it. But if I think the best way to understand it is if their teacher, the one that is actually providing the actual instruction, is coming to them in the form of a video or on an online platform, that would be a technology-based instruction in a classroom. So the data for AltEd is always pulled from the student personal, right now, currently, is pulled from student personal extended elements. Really looking forward to the day where we can start including start date, end date, and start doing that from a student participation collection. If you are already sending that through student participation, and I think that we'll do a little bit of work this summer and figure out all the districts that are sending it to us via that sent it to us via student participation last year. Let you guys know that we can potentially start looking at that instead of looking at student personal extended elements. Not every school is and vendor and agent has had the chance to update yet to that. So again, it won't be available for everybody, but if I can do a little bit of research this summer, and we might be able to put that into the October 1, or not October 1, but ASR next year, where AltEd membership comes from the start date and end date from the student participation.
Eric, this is Amanda at VA. I guess I understood that for this year's AltEd capture of participation that we were certifying that data in our ASR.
So we didn't take it from the student participation object. We took it
Okay.
from, here's how we did it.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna say this was the best way, but this was the way we had.
Okay.
So the way we did it was we took the first time that we saw we just captured every change of that AltEd status from student personal extended elements. So if alt ed was equal to yes, then we would capture that date, that the first date that we received a yes. And then if it changed to no, we would then capture put an end date on that first record and a start date on the new record that said no. And then compare that to the calendar that the student was attached to and count how many days that student was alt ed membership. Okay. Now, obviously you guys don't always have the time to get the first day that they're in alt ed into the student information system. And then sometimes we get it and sometimes we don't, depending on the agent, depending on, different things. So sometimes those dates aren't perfect. And sometimes those dates aren't even close. So that's why we opened up the ability to change the dates, the start date and end date. But we have requested, we put in the requirements document a couple of years ago, actually, the requirements to start sending us alt ed status via the student participation object, which also allows us to start seeing start date, end date, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think I am. So I'll have to review that. But either way, we haven't started using that collection yet because I know for a fact that not everybody has started sending it that way. So let us do some research and see who's already sending it consistently that way. And if they are, I'll start talking to our development team and see if we can put that on the calendar to get the ASR updated to use that collection instead of this other really difficult way to do alt ed collection for alt ed membership. And if that's the case, we'll have a start date and end date that we receive from you guys for alt ed. And that way we can do, just to compare from the start date to the end date, the number of calendar days that they were enrolled in school. And then we'll know exactly how many days of alt ed membership they have. Make sense?
Yes, thank you. That would be great. We're just excited because of what we did do in the ASR through on screen was a perfect match to what was in our system. So we just wanted to make sure that for funding, that's what got pulled because it's
yes, that from ASR, that is exactly. And Lori, please tell me I'm not telling lies here. But
hang on. This is Mitzi. Lori's coming. She's behind me. I'm busy.
I don't think. I believe I'm almost certain that these state aid individuals are going to be using the data that comes off the ASR for alt ed membership for alt ed ADM payments.
So yeah, alt ed ADM will be used for the alternative education allocation for FY23.
All right, appreciate you guys very much.
Going through that right now and seeing what kind of discrepancies I have. Just because it's new. So hope if you might get an email from me today.
Perfect. Any other questions, comments? I will say this. We are going to do our round robin and we're going to do it at the worst possible time, just so you know, in the fall. I'm just giving you a heads up. We're going to do it at the absolute worst possible time for everyone. And because I was told that we have to do it early in the year. So we're going to be coming around and doing training and getting feedback on a new certification process that is coming not this next year, but in fiscal year 24. So we're going to be we're going to give an hour and a half to a vendor partner of ours that is developing how we certify data collections and reports. And we want to hear your voices. It won't be a one-time, one-shot, one-kill deal. We'll be doing these monthly. We'll have these monthly. We're doing the first one in person so that you guys can see and ask questions right there in the meetings if you're there. But we'll also do some virtual meetings like on Weekly Wave. We'll have them come in and talk about it, give updates on where they're at with it. and ensuring that we're all on the same page and making sure that you guys have a voice in the development and making sure that you have a voice in the as we walk through it. So this is something we're developing through next year and we'll put in place for the following year. But we want your voice at least once a month involved in that. The week we are going to be coming around is going to be the last full week of August. So like I told you, the worst possible time that you could possibly have to do a meeting here's the benefit. And Sydney, I think Sydney's on the call. If she is, she can tell you kind of where we expect to be on each day. I don't remember exactly where, but it is only one day. I promise. It's only one day in each location. So it wouldn't be expected that everybody would come to every day. It's not the full week. It's just one day. But where, Sydney, are you here? Maybe not.
I know that I don't have the calendar in front of me, but I know we're going to be in Woodward the first day, which is at the 22nd.
Yep.
And the next day will be in Pryor.
Okay.
Then we're going to go to McAllister
Okay.
and then Lawton.
Okay.
And then we'll be back in the city on Friday.
Yep. On the 26th. So it'll go Woodward, Pryor, McAllister,
Lawton.
Oklahoma City.
Yes.
Yeah, last week, 22 to 26. It's a 9 to 3 type thing. 9 to 3 type thing. So if you guys can make it, let you know now. We're going to be around to do that. If you can't, I understand it is a horrible time, but I just want to let everybody know about it to at least give you an idea, heads up. We'll be talking about FQSR, October 1st, class size audit, P-EBT corrections, amongst other things. We will get a registration out, but it'll be as soon as we get all this stuff finalized and completely in place, then we'll put out a registration for that. I think we can do in most places. Woodward, we've never had a problem with. When people come to Woodward, there's always enough room, honestly. And McAllister's usually, but McAllister, they pack up real fast too. And then Lawton usually is pretty packed. So may want to get on the list early on that, but I think we have plenty of room for everybody. I think 75 to 80 people in each meeting, in each person, in each location in some places it's up to 100, I think. So especially in Oklahoma City and Tulsa, Pryor. I say Tulsa, but Pryor. Yes, I will be there. I will be there.
I know, Eric, you mentioned, Chrissy wants to know the date of Pryor. Is that this is 23rd, I believe.
23rd.
Of August.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And Eric mentioned last week that we want to cover things that you're interested in on these particular meetings. And I don't think we got any suggestions last week. So if you have suggestions you'd like to talk about on the weekly wave, I'm going to put my email in this in the chat. Please email me with your suggestions and we will try to work them into our meeting. So just posted it.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate your time. Appreciate your work. I know this reporting season has not been the easiest. I promise we are really, really trying to do better and build better and be more intuitive and easier. I think that throughout this next 2 or 3 years, you're going to see some dramatic changes that will make your lives a whole lot easier. It will probably come with some pain on the front end, but after that, I think it'll make us all a lot better. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good rest of your day.